Welcome to the 2024 Wild Card Series presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Get internet how you want it. And from American Family Field, we get ready for Brewers and Mets. The roof will be closed. It's going to get hot in here. National League playoffs getting started right here.
As the autumn sun sets, the wild card stage ignites.
There's so much on the line tonight.
A wild one.
The stakes rage like flames, raw and fierce. Catch fire and forge your name in history.
World Series champs.
These boys of summer don't want to leave.
This one's not coming back.
Got him with the heat.
Unbelievable.
The Mets.
What a ride. The Mets are going to the postseason.
And the Brewers.
Get out. Get out.
Best of three. Let them cook.
And welcome to Milwaukee, American Family Field, the National League Wild Card Series between the Mets and the Brewers getting underway. Game one coming at you. Let's check out the postseason playoff bracket. And in the National League, Mets versus Brewers, the winner will take on the 2 seed, the Phillies, the Dodgers, the 1 seed, and they await the winner of the Braves and the Padres coming up later tonight. And welcome into the broadcast booth. John Shambi and Doug Glanville. Jesse Rogers will join us coming up. I don't know that many people expected the Brewers to be here, and yet they cruised to the National League Central Division title, and they did it by leaning on a number of young players. But when you talk about two guys that really did the job, a veteran and a young guy in Adames, and obviously Jackson Chourio as well.
Well, John, it comes together with those two players because of the power and the speed. They are dynamic. And Willy Adames has turned his career into production from the shortstop position. The ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark and the ability to steal bases and create havoc when he's running. And Jackson Chourio complements him. He's the young side of that equation. He started off a little bit cold, but he ended up hot. 310, 552 slug in September. Look at those numbers. 20-20 for both of them. And look, don't forget about William Contreras, however, the catcher side, who does it all. He stops the running game, he's got power, and he completely wraps everything up around how well their pitching has done this year. 5th in all of Major League Baseball in ERA.
All right, meanwhile, for the New York Mets, very familiar with these Brewers. In fact, they had 3 games right at the end of the year against Milwaukee. They thought they would be in the middle of the wild card chase, and obviously they thought Francisco Lindor would be the fuel for their fire. Well, they needed him yesterday in Atlanta. He hit the huge home run, and he is a legit National League MVP candidate.
Well, when we talk about Francisco Lindor, ask his managers, they talk about the word complete, the ability to impact the game in all facets. Power, speed, on the bases, both sides of the plate, and a key move was moving him to the leadoff position where he could be a catalyst from the top, and then in that number 1 slot, he can drive himself in and put that 1-0 on the board. And look at these numbers, 33 home runs, 29 stolen bases. He posts, he's out there, and he leads this team. So there's an X factor in Francisco Lindor, and both teams know that.
Yeah, when they discussed putting him in the leadoff spot, he said to his manager, Carlos Mendoza, look, that's what I did at the beginning of my career, but if we're going to do it, you got to give me a little bit of a runway. Well, that runway is extended all the way into the postseason. He's been brilliant as their leadoff hitter, Francisco Lindor. All right, let's send it downstairs. How about the last 24 hours for the New York Mets? We check in with Jesse Rogers.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey for the Mets here in Milwaukee on Sunday, then flying to Atlanta on Monday for the doubleheader, and then back here last night. I talked to the polar bear, Pete Alonso, about it. He called yesterday's trip a businessman special. Get in, get your work done, and get out. The only difference is they didn't go back home to New York. They came back to Milwaukee, and they did pack for 2 weeks. So they're ready to win this series and then to continue on the road in the playoffs.
Jesse, thanks. As Carlos Mendoza In his first year as manager, one of 3 rookie managers in the postseason, along with Joe Espada and Stephen Vogt. Patrick Murphy actually is not a technical rookie because he managed the Padres. So Murph, sorry. All right, let's check out the lineup for the New York Mets. It is brought to you by Cologuard. See more information at Cologuard.com. It goes Lindor, Iglesias, Nimmo, Vientos, Alonso. Winker gets the start. He's got some decent numbers against Peralta. Marte and right. Taylor, the former Brewer, brilliant defensively. And Alvarez behind the plate. And that Met team will go up against Freddie Peralta.
Look, and Freddie Peralta lives off the four-seam fastball. He's got a nice complement of pitches, but really it's the four-seamer and the slider that he throws to right-handers and lefties. He brings in the changeup a little bit more. That command is going to be important. The thing about him, he lives in the air, more of a fly ball pitcher, and the Mets, to be successful, will have to get that long ball, get those extra base hits going.
One of the things these two teams share in common, both with very good outfield defense. We will see how that plays out as Lindor getting ready to lead things off. A Met team that on the season was 5th in the National League in runs per game, 7th in the majors. They hit a lot of homers, and when you look at this lineup, Doug, for Carlos Mendoza, it would seem like it matches up nicely for the postseason because homers play in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you can't necessarily script it, but when you start off with Lindor, who's been able to show that the power from the top of the order can set that tone, it puts himself in a very good position to win this ball game.
I asked Pat Murphy, are there things you're concerned about or worried about? He said, I wouldn't say concerned or worried, but the focus is that kid at the top of the order for the New York Mets. Well, here is the 30-year-old kid, and we take a look at Pat Murphy in his first year, taking over for Craig Counsell, who departed to manage the Chicago Cubs. And Murph has done an amazing job. Very good chance that he is the National League Manager of the Year. Ready to go here at American Family Field. John Shelby, Doug Glanville, and Jesse Rogers. National League wild card, game 1. And here we go. Peralta ready to work, and the first pitch of the game is through there for a strike. We are underway.